Hey, what's up guys, it's Nico of CamCrunch.com, and today I'm going to help you guys choose out your first camera. But before I get into it, I just wanted to say that if you do not intend on making any money from photography, please do not take out a loan or borrow money or dive into savings that you intended on saving for something else just to buy a more expensive camera, more than you can afford. Because photography is a hobby for most of us, and if we're not going to get anything back from it financially, you do not want to spend money that you don't have. I understand that photography can make a lot of people happy, but still, you gotta have your priorities straight, and if you can't afford a certain camera, don't buy it. It's just not worth it. And also, before I start, I know that a lot of what I say might seem like common sense, but this is honestly how I go about when I'm looking at DSLRs, and I encourage you guys to look at it this way too. Again, it sounds like common sense, but a lot of you guys ask me the question on which should I buy, this or this, and if you look at DSLRs or just cameras in general, the way I do, the way I'm going to tell you guys, it's going to be a lot easier and you're going to find something that you're happy with. So now I'll get into, this basic guide, and this guide is going to be how to choose, your first camera based on what your needs are, what your wants are, and what your budget is. Because I understand that a lot of us, don't need DSLRs. So the camera that we're choosing is basically what we want and not really what we need, because a lot of us don't even utilize all the features that are in these cameras. But I understand that, photography is a hobby and the equipment is part of that hobby. And if you can afford it, why not? So now I'm going to get on with the guide, and I'm going to try to make it as basic as possible. Now the first thing you want to do is know what your budget is. So is your budget $500? Is your budget $1,000, $2,000, $3,000? You just have to know your budget is, and once you set a budget, try to stick to that budget. Even if you have the money to be flexible with your budget, try to stick with the budget that you set in the start. Now when you're choosing the camera itself, I recommend that you start on the bottom of the whole camera food chain or scale or whatever you want to call it, because you might find something that you're content with, and even though you still have a lot of money left in your budget, you might find something that you're content with, and that should be enough for you, and you would have saved a lot more money. What I mean by starting at the bottom is you look at the lowest possible camera that you would consider buying. So at this point, you already know the features that you want. You already know, you basically know what the features you want are. So you look at the lowest camera that has the features that you want. So let's say you're not really looking for any specific features. You just want a nice camera that can take good pictures. You start with a point and shoot camera. So let's say you start with a point and shoot camera that's $100. And you're looking at it, you read your reviews on it, it's not that good. You go up a level, you look at a 200 point and shoot. Is it what you're looking for? The reviews say it's not much better than a camera that you find on a phone. So you move up another level, $300, $400, and then you look at DSLRs. Oh, the DSLR gives me the ability to change lenses. This is something I really want, so I'm gonna start looking at these DSLRs. You're looking at the $500 DSLR. But this doesn't give you video features, so you look at a $600 DSLR. It doesn't have too many autofocus points, so you look at a $700 DSLR, and at $700 you're like, oh, this has a really decent sensor, it's got good autofocus, it's got full HD video. I think I'll be happy with this. Actually, I know I'm gonna be happy with this. And there you found your camera. You moved from the bottom to the top. If you set your budget to something like $1,000 or $2,000, you've just saved yourself like $300 or $1,300, depending on what your budget is, something that you could spend on lenses. So again, you move up the scale to find the camera that you want. And I'm just gonna take that example further. You're at DSLRs, but you're like, I think I really want full frame. So you move up, to the full frame. So you move up to something like the, I said I wouldn't name cameras, but something like the 5D Mark II or the Nikon D700, and you look at that and you're like, this is what I want. So you wanted full frame, so that's where you end. You end where you're looking for a camera. You end at the full frame mark, and if you look at the 5D Mark II and you're like, oh, the autofocus is lacking, so you go even further than that. You go to the higher level cameras until you find the camera that you want. But I'm sure most of you will not even hit that full frame camera mark unless you're really inclined to take full frame. You know, a lot of you will be content with the lower level cameras because, again, we're not all photographers and you do not need to spend a lot of money to get pictures. If you are like a gearhead, you know, you want the latest and greatest, go ahead. But if you're actually going to take, you know, pictures with a camera and that's what your main goal is, to take nice pictures and pictures that you're happy with, then I encourage you to start at the bottom, work your way up. So yeah, that was my guide. And I know it seemed pretty basic, but a lot of you guys asked me, you know, the question on, you know, which camera should I buy when you're deciding between, you know, 1 and 2 cameras. Just look at the features and, you know, get what you, not only what you need, but what you will feel you'll be happy with and you'll take pictures with. So yeah, again, that was my guide. I hope it helped, and I hope I, you know, wasn't just stating the obvious to you guys, because a lot of you guys asked me the question, and this is how I honestly look at cameras out there. So again, I'm Nico of CamCrunch.com. If you haven't yet, please subscribe. Please like the video. If you really like it, please favorite the video. And social links are down below. Don't forget to follow me on Twitter, Facebook, all that. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.